That's somehow right. That's all time. That's all time.
Derek Jeter is top 3 shortstop.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Tanks and Tutties, presented by Tubbs and Frankie. It is November 19th, episode 122, and we're talking football. Football. Mostly NFL. College football is a bit of a snoozer, but we'll get to that later. Dynasty update. Frankie won't play, so no Dynasty update for us this week. We played no games last week. I played one game, then advanced, and was still waiting on Frankie. So I blame him.
I played my games, and then I advanced for you guys to play.
So you played last night?
Tuesday, and then you guys have played your games. I haven't played my most recent.
Right. So
but
since our last recording, you have not played. No. Last Tuesday is when we recorded. So after Tuesday, if you didn't play, you have not played.
I don't remember.
Okay. Frankie hasn't played, so we'll have an update next week. He's going to play this week. One would hope. But then next week, we'll have an update. The week after that, we won't, though, because of Thanksgiving. I know he's not going to play. So, locks and long shots. One of us had a good week last week, and it wasn't you. It was me. We hit Eagles -3 versus the Commanders. That was sweat-free easy. Lions -13.5 versus the Jags. That was the least sweatful hit of all time. They won big. Packers -5.5 at the Bears. Didn't hit. Northwestern, the flip. I had Ohio State first, flipped Northwestern. Great flip there. They ended up covering the 29.5. And then Utah +10.5 at Colorado did not hit. So 3-2 on the locks. We'll take that every day of the week.
What did that Northwestern score end up being?
31-7 or something like that. 31-7. Yep. So great flip by me. I believe game day the line was like 27.5. So covered the game day spread as well. This week, I've got some gross ones. Really, really gross locks this week. Starting first with the nastiest one of all. Browns +3.5 versus the Steelers on Thursday. I think we're going to go back. We're going to revert back to nasty Thursday night games. Last week was okay-ish in the second half. Obviously, 2 weeks ago, we were really spoiled with Ravens and Bengals. I think this is just a nasty game. The Steelers won their game of the year on Sunday against the Ravens. It's a classic letdown spot. The Browns can't look any worse than they have the last 2 weeks, so you just got to hope for a 13-10 loss for the Browns. I mean, the Steelers didn't score a touchdown, so we just got to hope for a close game here. But I do hate this pick, but I just wanted to throw it out there because it's fun. Chiefs -11 at the Panthers. They just lost to the Bills. The Panthers are bad, but playing – they're on a 2-game win streak, right? Yeah, they had a bye week last week. So, but I think the Chiefs bounce back here. I think they win by a lot, 14 minimum. Bucks -5.5 at the Giants. I don't believe in Tommy DeVito. They benched Daniel Jones. We'll get to that later as well. I think the Bucks roll off of a bye. I think they roll them. Packers -2.5 versus the 49ers. Going back to the well here. This line makes no sense. The Packers won on the road in Chicago. They should have won by a lot more. The 49ers just lost to the Seahawks at home. Right? At home? Yeah, they were at home.
Yeah.
So now they got to travel to Green Bay. Green Bay always plays well in Green Bay. It's going to be cold. It's going to be fall weather. Brock Purdy is basically me out there without 4 all-pro future Hall of Famers maybe. He only has 2. And Debo's looked like shit too this year. So give me the Packers by a field goal. Last-second field goal, win by 7. I think they cover this. 2.5 is – I love a 2.5 spread because nobody's taking a dog at 2.5. Long shots then, Scooble Cy Young. That'll get announced on Thursday. So next week that will be a W.
I thought it was tomorrow.
Oh, maybe it was. I don't know. Either way, it'll be announced after this is recorded. So I'm not going to mark it just yet, but we'll mark it next week so I can talk about them one last time. And then we can start bitching about.
As people are listening to this, Terry Scooble is hopefully this Cy Young.
I'm not even worried about a jinx at this point because the only other person that would steal it from him is Class A, and I got him at plus 20,000. So I'm covered. Tomorrow's going to be a great night either way. It's either 340 or 2,000. So I'm very excited. And the way Class A pitched in the playoffs, I don't think there's any shot that he steals it. I think if he I guess the only way would have if he pitched lights out and they made a World Series run, but they didn't, and he got lit up. So if Mariano Rivera never won a Cy Young, then Class A is not. So Terrion Arnold, over 2.5 picks. He doesn't have one. There's nothing left to say there. And then obviously added Brian Branch last week. So keep an eye on those. Last week, long shots, though, we had the Rams minus 6.5 at the Patriots, plus 118, kind of working with that, bump the spread up a little bit. They won by 6. So this one missed by half a point, so that sucks. The books got the line pretty good there in that game. But Vikings minus 9.5 at the Titans at plus 150, that did hit. So we split the long shots, and that is profit if you're taking 2+ odds. So this week, Browns money line versus the Steelers, plus 166. I think we see a gross game. And I'm pretty sure Jameis is 1-1 versus the Steelers. So watch out for that. And then Cowboys alternate line plus 7.5, plus 124 at the Commanders. They were in that game last night. Cooper Rush looked like a quarterback that can throw a football. And I'm still waiting for the Commanders defense to be bad again. They haven't yet, but they're due. So you're going to give me the Cowboys to lose by a touchdown. I'll take it at plus 124. I do hate that pick, though. I don't like either of those long shots. There was no lines. There was no lines like last week where I was like, ooh, I like this. So
yeah. I mean, Cooper Rush threw for 354, but there was also multiple dropped interceptions. Like he threw his one, but there was a couple more that were dropped. So
yeah. Well, the Commanders are also declining, so this feels like it's the NFL, man. They're all professionals. They still have CeeDee Lamb. Like I could complete 2 or 3 passes to CeeDee Lamb, so it'll be interesting. But I don't like either of those. I recommend nobody puts money on that. But you can go ahead with your locks and long shots.
My locks still have the Packers to make the playoffs.
And we got our first freeze of the week. Lovely. Oh, there he is.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Looks like we're still freezing.
That's weird. I don't know why, but so we have the Packers to make the playoffs still open, still getting wins. That's all that matters at this point. Just have to do our jobs. Not gonna lie, I kind of forgot that the Vikings are 8-3. That's not a great look for the Packers, especially when it comes to there being so many competitive teams in the NFC North. So that's tough for sure, but just got to keep winning. Last week, rough week, 0-3. Packers minus 6.5 against the Bears. They won by 1. Falcons Broncos under 43.5. This was probably the toughest one of the week. Well, toughest as in closeness.
Close
for lines. Yeah. Finished at a total of 44, so missed that by half a point. And then probably actually the toughest one of the week, Tennessee plus 10. They lost big. Not good. So this week we're going Lions Colts over 50.5. This is as simple as I think if it gets to it, the Lions could cover this by themselves. We've seen them do it a couple times this year, and the Colts aren't necessarily anything to be afraid of. And on the flip side, if the Colts are competitive, they can put up points if they need to. And I'm not afraid of the Lions defense, so I think we either get a shootout or a blowout. And either way, I think
you're not afraid of the Lions defense.
No, not really. I don't think that they've been incredible. I think they've been good, but I think that they can definitely give up points to receivers and quarterbacks.
Wow. Okay.
I don't think that
because the Packers definitely put up points against the Lions.
They played like shit. I've told you this. I went over this multiple times.
That's crazy that they put up shit. They played like shit against our defense. That's weird. Maybe a marking of a good defense. I don't know. I'm just
it had nothing to do
from
with
the heart.
Defense. We're not doing this again. The Packers shot themselves in the foot.
No, but saying that the Lions defense isn't anything special when they have the 2 top safeties in the league, the Zadarius Smith trade, we got great linebackers and 2 corners that are playing lights out right now is blasphemy.
Does it look like I fucking care?
Blasphemy. Blasphemy.
Alex Anzalone's out, so that's all that I need to know.
Move on.
Lions Colts over 50.5, locking in. Dolphins -7 against the Patriots. I think the Patriots could be frisky, but the Dolphins look too good right now. I just don't see them not winning by at least a touchdown. So we'll take that. And then Indiana +13 at Ohio State. This is definitely going to be rowdy, but this is going to be a prove-it game for Indiana. I like them to at least keep it close, under 2 touchdowns. I could see it being a 10-point game. I could see it being a 7-point game. So we'll take that, especially off the bye week, Indiana. So long shots. 0-3 as well. If you did some math there, that is, yes, indeed, 0-6 last week on the picks. It was disgusting and heartbreak for me, all in all. So we had Tennessee money line. They lost. Wisconsin money line. They lost. Texas -13.5. Tennessee +10 parlayed. Loss.
Both of those missed.
Yeah. Texas might be fraudulent. We'll get back to that. But this week, we're going Thursday night, taking a touchdown score. George Pickens, +195. Best receiver, only relevant receiver on the Steelers against what has been a pretty rough secondary for the Browns. Russ's only read basically has been to Pickens for touchdowns, if he's throwing touchdowns. I just don't like the Browns secondary right now. It's looked really bad. They've given up a ton of points. If there's anybody that's going to score for the Steelers through the air, it's going to be Pickens. So we'll take that on Thursday. Also going to take Indiana money line. Like I said, I think they keep this close off the bye. Cignetti just got the extension before the bye. Got to get frisky with it. So we'll sprinkle on Indiana money line. I want them to keep everything they have alive for the playoffs. And honestly, if Ohio State loses, that would be pretty great. So, and then Wisconsin money line against Nebraska this week, +110. We're getting the battle of the brand new offensive coordinators. I have no idea who the offensive coordinator for Wisconsin is going to be this week, but it is going to be a new one. I'm hoping that we just go back to ground and pound at this point with a new OC. Braden Locke, definitely not the guy. I hope he never starts another fucking game. And honestly, if we throw a new quarterback in there, I like this even more. So I expect Wisconsin to get a bounce back here after a gritty loss last week, which should have been a win. And yeah, we always beat Nebraska. So give me Wisconsin money line.
I can't find where we were talking about it. Oh, here we go. I want to add over 43.5 in Nebraska and Wisconsin.
Ooh, yeah, I'll add that too.
My only reasoning is that Javi had sent the lines to us, and my instant reaction was, wow, under 43.5 seems free. Therefore, I'm going to flip and take the over. That's my only reason.
Both teams are actually very heavy over teams this year.
And the other thing, too, is like it's two defenses that, granted, Wisconsin's defense looked good last week, but haven't looked good lately outside of you take out that outlier with the Wisconsin game on Saturday. But I just see points in this game. I don't know what it is. Am I talking on my ass? Has Wisconsin's defense look good?
You're cutting out.
They gave up 42 to Iowa.
I didn't really hear anything you said.
They gave up 42 to Iowa. They only gave up 3 to Northwestern. That doesn't count. 7 to Rutgers. 6 to Purdue. Man, you guys had a bun schedule. What? Bama, USC, Penn State, Oregon. Okay. The Big Ten's weird. Everything's weird this year with college football, isn't it? It's all weird.
You've been cutting out so bad for the last 2 minutes. I have no idea of anything that you just said, pretty much.
That's fine. The fans know. College football has been weird this year. Ride with the weird. Take the weird and accept it, and take the over in Nebraska and Wisconsin.
Yes. If Wisconsin, Iowa can go over, this game can go over.
There you go. Yeah, college football, a little bit of a snoozer last week. So games 12 o'clock through 7 o'clock all went about as you expect. I I didn't watch much. Truth be told, I had to do the leaves at my grandma's house as well as my own house. I didn't get inside till about 6:30. So I threw on the Oregon-Wisconsin game as well as Georgia and Tennessee, and I watched those. And those are two of the three games that we have to talk about. So I'm going to let you decide, which game do you want to start with?
I think we should start with Oregon, Wisconsin.
Okay. Wisconsin should have won this game. They were in it. They had it. They were doing it. And then late in the third quarter, by the way, final score, Oregon 16, Wisconsin 13. End of the third quarter, Wisconsin's doing jump around, and I saw the entire Oregon team jumping around. And that's when I said, yep, Wisconsin just lost. So is it time to get rid of that because other teams come in, do it, and then beat you in close games? Because this is the second time in 2 years now. Michigan did it last year.
No, I don't think you can get rid of it because it is like it gets the crowd going late in the game. Like, granted, yes, the other team also does it, but I don't think it's like I wouldn't say it's a boost of energy for them. It's more just for the crowd. I don't know. Like, it's such a timeless thing that you can't. I'd be like saying, should Michigan get rid of Mr. Brightside because both teams sing it? Like,
that's actually different though, because Mr. Brightside is newer. That's within a couple years. I would say it's like, oh, should they get rid of Rocky Top? Like, no, I don't actually think that. I'm just saying it's funny that in 2 years now, two teams have done it, and then they come back and won in the fourth after hearing jump around. It was just to get your blood boiling, but obviously you're not going to get your blood boiling because it's Wisconsin. You actually did kind of expect to be in this game. You had the money line, you had the spread. Or no, you didn't have the spread. You just had money line, right?
No, I just had money line.
Yeah. But you did. You were talking all week. You were like, man, what if?
Yeah, it was a lot of what ifs. I don't think deep down I actually thought that we would, like, I don't want to say compete. I thought it would be a tight game just because of Wisconsin shows up for big games, and like the fans show up for big games. Like, that place was packed full the entire time, which doesn't usually happen. I figured our offense would be an issue, which it was. I was hoping our defense would play well. They did. And honestly, it came down to the offense killed us, and that's what lost us this game. If the offense could have done anything in the second half, we win that game easily.
You were given so many chances. The defense played awesome.
Yeah, I mean, Oregon going for the fake field goal in the fourth with, a minute and 30 whatever seconds left. Yep. That might have... If we would have scored, that would have been the worst fucking play call in the history of Oregon football.
Oh, yeah.
And Dan Lanning might have been on the chopping block right there. Like, they might not have let him back on the bus.
Right.
Yeah. You don't do that when you barely put up points. Like, if you're going to go for it on fourth down, go for it. Don't try and do a fake field goal. Like, the defense has already played so well against you. That is quite possibly the dumbest play call you could make right there.
Mm-hmm.
On the bright side, Phil Longo, Wisconsin's OC, did get fired. Luke Fickell finally manned up, fired him. There's a lot of guys out there that I really want. I believe it is LSU's quarterback coach is my first option.
Dude.
What?
If you got their quarterback coach, you might be able to flip Bryce Underwood.
Well, not only that, but he was on Fickell's staff as an OC for Cincy. So there is connections. Like, it's a pipe dream. It's probably very low chance that we get him. But that is number one right now, just because of, I think the recruiting would take a huge step forward when it comes to quarterbacks. I think, like, we got Phil Longo, who came from UNC, who I don't want to say was known for having a prolific offense. Like, they had a prolific offense for 2 years. And yes, it was with Phil Longo, but also you have to look at the quarterback they had. Like, Wisconsin doesn't have that quarterback, and it just didn't fit our system. Like, it didn't fit our play style, our players, to bring in somebody that wanted to do air raid. and was used to having a big name quarterback who was going to get drafted in the NFL. Like, I guarantee you none of the guys on our roster are going to get drafted. Well, and the quarterbacks are going to get drafted to the NFL like the UNC guys did. So I don't know. Like, I hope that maybe for the rest of this year, we just go back to our roots, ground and pound. And then next year we make a big splash. We've shelled out money to all these big names when it comes to coaches. So hopefully we do that again, especially for an OC. And unless we bring in some either big name recruit or big name transfer that's known for playing in an air raid setup, like an air raid style offense, I kind of just want us to go back to the pro style. Like, it's worked in the past. Why can't we just keep doing it? Braden Locke, dead to me. That guy fucking sucks.
Who was their quarterback before he got hurt in that Bama game? What was his name? I can't remember it.
Tyler Van Dyke.
Does he win this game?
Honestly, Tyler Van Dyke with a torn ACL might win this game.
Yeah.
That's how disappointing it is.
I think if you had Van Dyke, you're ranked right now. Because, like, look at your schedule. You don't lose to Iowa, probably. You win that Penn State game because you were in that one too. The USC game, maybe. You win this game. Now you're 1-2. Like, you're 1-2. You're definitely a 2-loss team right now.
Yeah. That's the thing that's been frustrating too, is like you can tell how close Wisconsin is to being like a legitimate contender again, just because of how close they have been in some of these big games. And if they just had a fucking quarterback, they might actually be a good team. I guess we had some big recruit there this week, and like for a quarterback too. And people are like, hopefully he saw that like all we're missing is a quarterback, which also we're not just missing a quarterback. We need some fucking wide receivers that can create separation too. You can't run an offense in an air raid system without wide receivers that can create separation. So just throwing that out there. But I think this was kind of a good point for Luke Fickell to shut up fans that are like calling for his job, because we're in year 2 and people are already like, Fickell needs to be fired. Fickell needs to be fired. No, he's this fucking close. Like, he was 3 points away from beating the best team in the country without a quarterback. And
isn't this his third year?
It might be third. It's just, I don't think it's on Fickell. Like, it was on the OC. We're making the change there.
Year.
Fickell had the balls to do it. We just gotta, I don't know, some changes got to be made, and I'm glad that it's happening now. So,
yeah, it was a fun game, and it did show they are close. Their defense played awesome, and
out of all of my teams, this was probably the least disappointing out of all of them this weekend.
Out of all of them,
which says a lot.
So the other disappointment was Tennessee. Georgia beat Tennessee 31-17. This game, at the start of the game, I think I texted our group chat. I said, Tennessee's going to win this game, or Tennessee can win this game. They started hot. Nico was dealing. Defense was standing up. And then second quarter started, and it was pretty much all Georgia. No, I take that back, actually. Second quarter, or halftime, it was 17-17. It was just Tennessee's offense fizzled out. What'd they do in the second half? Second half, Tennessee drives. Let's see. 7-play punt, 7-play punt, 12-play punt, then a fumble. Game over. So just shut down by Georgia's defense in the second half, and Georgia comes out on top. Before you get into your thing, I just want to say that Kirby Smart is a pussy, and I hate him for his comments after the game. There was a video about him talking about he's basically throwing shade at the Big Ten, and he said – oh, no, it was shade at the committee because he was asked, what do you think about being ranked so low? You're a 2-loss team with your 2 losses coming to Bama, and who's the other team they lost to? Ole Miss last week. And he said, yeah, I'd like to see some of those teams up north come down and play SEC football. It's just different. You don't know till you play it, blah, blah, blah. Dude, you play in the SEC, you only play 6 conference games. And then in the middle of November, you play University of Massachusetts. Fuck you. Come play the Big Ten when you got to play 8 conference games. It's fucking, that shit pissed me off. Kirby Smart's a bitch. All of his players drunk drive and kill people. You're a fucking bitch. Carson Beck, you're ugly. You're a sloth. I hate them all. Your thoughts on Tennessee?
I hate Carson Beck, and that is what made this loss so much worse. Is the second half he looked like a fucking Heisman candidate.
He looked like Heisman candidate, first round pick. Yeah.
And also what pisses me off the most is I literally saw this coming last week. The fucking selection committee is setting up Tennessee to get left out of this and letting in Bama and Georgia, even though we split with them and they split with us. Like, it's just so annoying.
I mean, if you look at Georgia's schedule though versus Tennessee's, they had a tougher schedule.
Okay, but Bama's the highest out of all of them.
Yes,
and Bama's going to get put in.
It's
lost to
shitty.
Georgia,
it's shitty the way the schedule worked out because Bama, they still got to play Oklahoma, but Bama's schedule worked out where all their tough games were middle and early. Because now they can rattle off 5 wins and get, top 5, top 6. So that's just shitty how that shook out. But if it were up to me, I'd leave Bama and Tennessee out. I mean, Nico sucks. Tennessee's defense is okay. But
Nico just
Bama hasn't looked good. Like they played Mercer, bro. Are we serious? Come on. Their biggest win is
that
Georgia.
So, okay. Bama lost to Vandy. If Tennessee beats Vandy, does that make them look better?
It's ridiculous. It's all ridiculous. You know what I really want to see? I want to see South Carolina in it. I hate that they lost to Bama and LSU. They could be fucking 9-1 right now, and we'd be seeing South Carolina in there. I love South Carolina.
I was looking at that last week because I saw a TikTok and somebody was like, it was one of the plays against LSU that like basically changed the entire game, and how if that play didn't happen, they would be in the playoff right now. And I was like, really? I didn't think that they were that good. And then I looked down like at the standings and I was like, holy shit, like South Carolina really could be in this if it wasn't for that one play. If that LSU game gets flipped to a win, they're in the competition.
Tomorrow's is it tomorrow the selection show?
Tonight.
I'm gonna have to watch
We might know before we're done recording, actually.
I thought it's Tuesdays.
Yeah, it's Tuesday right now.
It is Tuesday. God damn, I'm out of it. Last thing about this game for me, are you ready to admit that Nico is Joe Milton 2.0?
No.
Not yet?
Nope.
That's fair.
Still a freshman.
He was very bad. Very bad. But remember what you said last week, though. You got a good excuse. He's injured.
Yeah, I mean, he just got cleared out of the concussion protocol right before the game last week. So
he was seeing 2 players every time he threw the ball. That's why he went 20 for 33 for 160.
Exactly. He's banged up.
I think the thing that kills me about Nico is when you watch these games, there will be 3 or 4 deep shots a game that he overthrows, and they are like open. Bang, bang, touchdown. And those are the throws you got to make to beat Georgia. Look at how Bama beat Georgia. They made those plays.
Yep.
I was pulling for Tennessee. I hate Georgia. I'm a Nico hater, but I think it's just because you glaze him so much and he's mid. But I do like when Tennessee is good. Great atmosphere, Rocky Top, those uniforms. But do
you think if
I brought a national championship
Tennessee, if that team or if that game is in Tennessee, do you think Tennessee wins?
Yeah, I do. Let's see. Yeah, because when you were up 10-0, it would have been hard to come back from because momentum would have been way in your favor. That place would have been rocking, and Carson Beck would have been shitting his pants.
I will say the two. I think it was there
Final
were a
score
couple calls.
Tennessee 35-24.
Damn. I'm not blaming refs or anything, but there are some pretty shitty calls. I think the 2 fumble calls back to back. The first one, I believe it was their tight end, caught it, turned, took 2 steps, got hit, ball came out, fumbled forward. Tennessee recovered it. They called it incomplete. I thought that was a bad call. Next play, basically the same thing to a running back on a screenplay, hit him in the hands, and he kicked it forward about 15, 20 yards, and then Georgia covered it, so that really fucking sucked. That one, not on the refs at all. And then there was a pass. Nico, it was a guy on the right sideline. Nico threw it, hit him right in the chest, and the weird thing was there was a Tennessee arm, or there was a Georgia arm on top of the two Tennessee arms about 3 seconds before the ball got there, and it got dropped, and there was no pass interference. I think that was in the third quarter.
It sounds like you're describing good defense.
No, it was definitely pass interference. He was way early.
Broke it up.
No, he was way early.
No, you can't blame refs when you lose by 2 touchdowns. Refs can't make 2 touchdowns. You can only blame refs when it's a 7-point game.
I agree. That's why I said I'm not blaming the refs.
But you are.
No, I'm just saying there were some missed calls. I'm not saying it would have changed the outcome of the game. I'm just saying there were some missed calls.
Georgia also fumbled on back-to-back plays, and Tennessee didn't get either of them.
That's what I'm saying. One of them was a fumble, but it was called a pass, or it was called an incomplete pass. Also, I forgot to mention, the Wisconsin chop block call was absolute horseshit. That might have changed the call of the game.
No.
That was a first down Wisconsin.
Hang on. I'm going to follow me along here. 1, yes, horrible fucking call. I will always defend linemen since my brother's a lineman. Not a chop block. 2, it didn't change the game because Braden Locke was not going to drive another 70 yards and score a touchdown. It didn't change the game.
Fair point.
That is just, if that happened inside...
I will not defend Braden Locke because he fucking sucks. So
if that happened inside Oregon's territory, I'd be right along with you. Like, that was fucking bullshit. Change the game. But since it was on like your own, it was like the 20 or something, or like there's a half the distance to the goal. It didn't change anything because there was no way. It would have just given him more plays to throw a pick, really. So, we need to have a conversation that I think you are going to enjoy along with me.
Well, you forgot one of the games before you get into that.
I did. The other late game, really late, 10-15 kickoff. BYU finally loses to Kansas. I don't know if I said it on the pod or maybe just to you or it was to my dad. I don't know. But I said BYU is going to lose soon. They are squeaking by barely. And I said, I think it's going to be Kansas. I wish I put my money where my mouth was. I guess Kansas was only plus 115, so it's not that crazy.
Okay, but let's not forget Kansas is 3-6. Kansas was 3-6, and I think they were 1-8 against the spread before this, and the line was set at 3. BYU was undefeated as a 3-point favorite against a 3-6 team. Somebody knew what was going on.
Yeah.
And I still fucking put money on BYU.
Kansas was 1-5 before their game against Houston. They beat Houston, barely lost to K-State. Now they rattled off Iowa State and BYU wins. That's huge. Yeah, but BYU, man,
Kansas is coming back around.
I've watched BYU a few times, and they've squeaked by. Like I said, they barely beat Utah. Oklahoma State, they barely won. Baylor was close. And then SMU at the beginning of the year. All these games were one-score games where they got – especially the Utah game was the cherry on top of how the fuck did they win this game. So they were due for a loss. They finally got one. I am kind of sad, though. BYU being good is fun.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I would have really liked to see BYU make it to the playoff. Not saying that they won't, but this definitely hurts.
What the hell? I should have watched the highlights for this game. They played so late, dude. Saturday, I was up. I could have watched it, I guess, but I was watching the other games.
Oh, yeah. We were both up. Why didn't we watch it?
I'm watching the special teams mess up. Hang on. Let me try to peep this while we're recording. Sorry for the terrible podcasting here. So it says, BYU special teams blunder sets up Devin Neal touchdown for Kansas. Oh, they did a little pooch punt. Oh, okay, I see. So, Kansas did a quarterback punt from the 40. It hit a Kansas player in the helmet. A BYU player thought it hit his guy, so he went to recover it. He bumped it forward. Kansas recovered it at the 3. they scored the game-winning touchdown. That's what this video was.
Fucking BYU.
That's just the most BYU way to lose a game. There was 13 minutes left, though, so they could have came back. But, yeah, I don't – wait. Is Jalen Daniels related to JT Daniels? Not JT Daniels. Jaden Daniels?
Jaden? No,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay.
It might be. I can look.
They I don't want to sound like a terrible person, but they look similar to me when they play.
I'm looking right now.
Let me know what you find out. I'll go into my next point while you're looking. So the Heisman race right now, it's a 2-horse race in my eyes. I don't know if the books agree.
They are not related.
Let me wait. They're not related? Okay.
Nope.
The Heisman race, in my opinion, is a 2-horse race right now between Jesus. I'm all over the place. I need to lock in. Travis Hunter and Ashton Jeanty.
The books do agree.
Okay. Watching tape over the weekend and doing my best to take my bias out, I realized that Ashton Jeanty needs to win the Heisman. And it's bullshit that Travis Hunter is getting all this glaze because, he plays 2 positions. He plays all these snaps. So my question is, and I know you agree with me, I'm just posing it more to the general audience. Should a player who plays 2 positions and is pretty good at both, but isn't the best in the country at either of them, win the Heisman over somebody who breaks records and is the best player by far in his position? Ashton Jeanty is the best running back in the country, without a question. He's going to break records. Boise State is a very good team. They're probably going to make the playoff. So that argument is gone.
They would compete with anyone in the playoffs.
No, we're not going to do that argument. They wouldn't compete with anybody, but Jeanty could put up stats against anybody. But then you look at Travis Hunter, who got absolutely torched on Saturday over the top for a touchdown. The media doesn't show you that one. He also, his interception that he got in last game, it was on a deflection from another receiver being guarded, and he caught it because it bounced into his lap. So my old thought process, before I dove in, I legitimately did research. I'm like, all right, I want to know, who should I be rooting for here? Travis Hunter plays a lot, and he's pretty damn good. But he is not better overall at one position than Jeanty is at running back. Arizona's got a wide receiver that's better than Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter has better stats, but he's also played one more game. I think the Arizona receiver missed a game. And then at cornerback, in my opinion, Will Johnson is a better corner. He just has missed games, so his stats don't stack up. But he is a better corner than Travis Hunter. I think it's outrageous that Ashton Jeanty is not being looked at more because he plays in weird games that the writers aren't looking at. I know they look at the stat lines and he's putting up stats. If you watch this fucking guy play, it's unbelievable what he does. He just doesn't go down. Boise State, do they announce the Heisman before the playoff though? I think they do.
I don't know, because with the new format, I'm not sure how it's going to be.
Right. Because if they announce it before the playoff, I would think that Hunter's going to get it. Because he's the media's favorite. He's posted everywhere. You can't scroll Twitter on a Saturday for more than 2-3 minutes without a Travis Hunter highlight or tweet or something.
Well,
but
and what's kind of funny too is Saturday,
a generational talent.
What's funny too is Saturday, I was like, yeah, Travis Hunter is going to lock up the Heisman today after he had a good performance. I look back at the stats. I had the Colorado game on. I look back at the stats. He only went 5 for 55, no touchdowns, and the pick that bounced into his hands.
Yeah.
That's not an impressive game. He's had 5 games of over 100 yards. He's also had a game of 3 for 26, a game of 2 for 17, a game of 5 for 55. Those aren't impressive. And
he is literally
where he put up over 100 yards came against NDSU, Colorado State, Cincinnati, okay, that's decent, Baylor in OT, and Nebraska. I don't understand. The further we get along in the season, the less stats Travis Hunter's putting up, And the more he's getting hyped up and the more he's getting pushed up the Heisman board. But yet Ashton Genty's out here doing the same fucking thing every single week. Like he has not gotten any worse. He went through that little blip in the middle of the season where he was only putting up like 150 versus 250.
Exactly.
His bad
games are 150 and he only had 2 touchdowns. Like, it's outrageous.
Yeah. I don't
Travis
understand.
Hunter did score a touchdown, by the way. It was a rush because it was a backwards pass.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see it?
Touchdown.
Did you see it?
No.
So he hit the Heisman pose after. This play is the most Big 12 playing Utah play I've ever seen in my life. He ended up 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and he's literally stood still. The Utah defense, one dives past, he jukes one guy, then he runs it in. In the NFL, it's a 15-yard loss all day, maybe 10, maybe he gets 5 back. So the fact that that's his highlight play and it was just horrible tackling against a bad defense, like, is driving me insane. And he's only getting looked at because he plays both sides of the ball a lot more than anybody ever has, and he puts up decent stats on offense. Like, Jabril Peppers got looks at it, and who was the other one? Jabril Peppers, more recent. Who was somebody doing it? Either way, there was somebody else, and they weren't playing or they didn't put up the offensive stats, but they got the looks because they played both sides of the ball. The last person to win it playing both sides was Charles Woodson, and he was the best cornerback in the country and a very, very good receiver. Travis Hunter's not the best at either. And
no, I mean, Ashton Genty has over 400 more yards than the next closest running back. Travis Hunter isn't even in the top 5 for receiving yards. He is not in the top 5 for tackles or sacks or interceptions.
Also look at what happens to that person's team if you remove them from the team. Colorado, still going to win some games. They're going to give up more points, but that offense is scoring without Travis Hunter. If you take Genty off of Boise State, they have a losing record right now.
That dude has accounted for 162 points himself, 27 touchdowns.
Yeah. So
that is insane.
That's how I always try to look at it too. And that's why it's like mostly a quarterback award at this point. It's like, if they're not on the team, what happens? And with these two players, I think Genty, you take him off the team, it's a bigger impact than if you remove Travis Hunter. So, and then I just hate that the main argument for Hunter is that, he's playing 100-some snaps a day. Okay. So he's Taysom Hill then. That's what you're saying. Taysom Hill plays a lot of snaps.
No, literally no players ever won the fucking Heisman because of the number of snaps they played.
Right. Because then Jabril Peppers would have won. He played a lot of fucking snaps. So I'm riding hard for your boy Genty. I just want you to know that. I wanted to clarify because I was hating a little bit. But I did the research. I looked into it. Genty deserves it. And my hating more is that you saying Boise would compete against Oregon again, but they would lose by 14.
No.
I hope we somehow get that matchup. That'll be so perfect. That'll end this argument so easily.
That's fine.
Gotta hope. All right, let's get into NFL. We're doing good on time. This is a first. Let's see if we can keep it under an hour here. I don't think we can, but we'll be pretty close. Had some snoozers this week. I'm just going to say some scores until we get to our teams, really. Eagles over the Commanders, 26-18. The Eagles are firing. Their defense is very good, and Saquon is just a fucking animal. He's unbelievable. A little bit of stat pad in this game, though, I will say. In the last 5 minutes, he had 2 touchdowns that accumulated 68 yards. So those did come. The game wasn't over yet, though. You can't take it away from him. But the second one, kind of garbage time. But very good game from him.
Thank you, Saquon, for helping my fantasy team.
Yep. Next up on the list, Packers-Bears. Packers win 20-19 on a blocked field goal. You got to give them props. They did the research. They put in the time. It came out that the Packers in film study saw all week that Santos kicks the ball very low trajectory, and they knew they had a chance to block it. And the Bears, just another fuck up from the Bears to not try to get any more yards. Their kicker was, how far was that field goal? Let's see. Do you know off the top of your head? Because I have the stat.
It was
46
like
yarders. So
yeah,
I want to say they had a timeout and it was 30 to 40 seconds when they started milking it. It was under 40 because they just milked it. But So you're looking at a 46-yarder. Your kicker is 41 of 41 from inside 40 yards, and they didn't try to get any more yards for him. He ended up blocking it. What are your thoughts, though, on the game as a whole?
Disappointing. I don't know. I've come around on it. Definitely disappointed that we didn't beat them more. I am obviously happy with the win. We beat the Bears. We own the fucking Bears. It doesn't matter there. I wish we would have beat them more. But then looking back on it, we didn't really run that many plays. Like, the game was just kind of slow and long. Like, I think the Bears just had it on offense for so long.
Yeah.
And the Packers defense didn't look that great. We kind of let Caleb Williams cook us up. And I mean, that could be partially on our defense being banged up. It could be partially on the fact that the Bears have a new OC and completely changed the scheme for the Bears. I don't know. Jordan Love only had to throw the ball 17 times. 13 for 17, not bad. The one pick that he had was very, very bad. Overthrew Tucker Kraft by way too much. It was so far over his head. And it was in the red zone, so that sucked. But yeah, I don't know. Christian Watson came alive, so that was nice to see. This game was such a mixed bag of emotions. I thought for sure we were dead. I don't understand why the Bears didn't run it. Like, if you have a timeout and you have two running backs who have been decent all day, why would you not at least take one shot up the middle? I believe it was first down too. Like, they had just gotten the plays. Yeah,
that last drive was looking like Caleb Williams coming out, no pun intended, show. The big third down gain to get it to a short fourth, that was incredible. And then the fourth down conversion, just march. And then they just let the clock bleed out. And you could have, like, even just one run play to try to get, you don't even need the full 6, just anything for a little bit. Like, 1 yard there is more confidence. Every yard you gain is more confidence. And yeah, the Packers just made a great fucking play to get up and block it. I know you said last week you were going to be disappointed if they didn't win by at least 7. But a win's a win. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
They're going to come to Lambeau and you're going to win by 20. You'll be fine.
I think what I'm most disappointed by is the fact that the Bears went 9 for 16 on third downs and 3 for 3 on fourth downs. Packers went 1 for 5 on third and 0 for 1 on fourth. Like, you just cannot be letting a team go 9 for 16 on third down and 3 for 3 on fourth down. It just can't happen.
It is it's a big bounce back week this week for you. You got to go in back to Lambeau, and you got to look very good against the 49ers who have been struggling. This is a good spot. I mean, you're 7-3 too. Like, you had a bad game and you won. Like, and it's like your game wasn't even that bad. It's just the defense couldn't get the ball back and let the Bears do whatever they want pretty much for a while.
And
I mean, these drives are insane. Listen to these drive times real quick. Packers first touchdown drive, 3.5. Then you had a 3.5 field goal drive. Then the Bears had a 6-minute punt drive. Packers had a 7.5-minute interception drive. And then the Bears go 5 minutes, 42 seconds touchdown, end of the half. Then second half, Bears go 4.5 field goal. Packers get a quick touchdown. Then the Bears go 6-minute touchdown. Packers turn it over on downs and 4. Bears have a 7-minute punt drive. Packers score in a minute. That was the big play to, was that Watson? And then the Bears come back with a field goal. So it was literally just milked clock. And there's like that's just on the defense. Like, you can't even blame the offense for not putting up stats when Jordan Love threw for 261, and didn't have the ball for a lot of time. So
that's the thing. Like, Love played well outside of the one pick. And I think historically the Packers are actually pretty bad after the bye, which I probably should have done some research on that. But I mean, it's Toyotathon now, so Jordan Love's going to light up the world. It's just statistically how it goes. So hopefully we see that this week. Hopefully Jair gets healthy and we can actually get some help at the cornerback spot, because we need it right now.
Do the Packers play on Thanksgiving? No.
Yeah.
Yes. Ooh, they're the night game against the Dolphins. That'll be kind of okay.
Yeah, and no, it won't be because it's in Green Bay. It's going to be cold.
Oh, so
Dolphins suck in the cold weather.
They do. Next game up, conveniently, my Detroit Lions win 52-6. It's just a continuation of goodness. I mean, just an absolute shit pumping. There's nothing else to say. Jared Goff was phenomenal. He loves the indoors. We only have 2 more outdoor games. One of them is in San Francisco. Fine with that. And then the other one is at Chicago. So not real worried about the outdoors. The Lions have the best touchdown celebrations in the league. Did you see the Dragon Ball Z one, Amon-Ra? That was pretty fucking cool. And then the J-Mo hitting the Marshawn Lynch crotch grab. Love that. I'm not going to spend too much time here, just that it's getting scary to me how good we look. I'm like, expectations aren't rising any because I feel like the expectation coming in was get further than you did last year. And last year we went to the NFC Championship. So it's just more of they haven't let me down yet. And it's scary. It's really scary. Because like last year they had games where they got blown out. The Ravens game. There was another game that the Packers game on Thanksgiving was disappointing as all get out. But like we haven't had those games yet. Like the disappointing games we've won, and the only other disappointing game was the loss to the Bucs, and that was week 2. So it's at a point where it's getting scary with how good we look. But having Amon-Ra in fantasy is also the most fun thing of all time because he's minimum 15 points a week, and he got 40 last week. So I love that shit.
And David Montgomery.
And David Montgomery now, yes.
You should have traded to me, but
nope. Glad I held on to him. Making a run at the playoffs now. Yeah. I will say I had Sid over. She was watching with me, and I was like, this game's kind of boring, isn't it? Because it was just a blowout. And then I said, I was like, I'd almost rather like have the Texans game last week than this, because then at least my heart's racing a little bit. And then I took a second, and I was like, wait a minute, no, I don't, because I was depressed as hell at halftime. I was like, this is great.
It's so different to like have your team just blowing everybody out. Like,
that's the thing, is that we never blew teams out in the past my entire life. Even last year, I feel like there was no blowouts. We've rested starters twice now this year.
I'm kind of glad that you're getting to experience this, but I also wish it was in a season where my team wasn't also good.
Dude, the NFC North is the NFC North the best division in football, or do you think the AFC North gets it? I'm giving it to the NFC North.
I was going to say, I think it's the NFC North.
And the only reason I say that is that I think you look at, we got Lions, Vikings, Packers. Lions are 9-1, Vikings are 8-2, Packers are 7-3, right? You got the Steelers, who I can never look at the Steelers offense and be like, man, they're really good, because their offense is not great. They've looked good at times, but they didn't look good last week. The Packers offense can get it done. The Vikings offense obviously can get it done. The defenses are all there. But then I think the main thing you look at, the Bengals should be way better record-wise than they are. What I look at is the worst teams. Who wins? Bears, Browns. I think the Bears win easily, because the Bears have looked feisty. Last week they looked feisty. So, yeah, I don't have anything else for this game other than it was so fun, and I love this fucking team, and I'm just stay healthy. Every time we get injured, I get fucking pissed, because I'm like, stop. Anzalone's out 6 to 8 weeks with a broken forearm, but that brings him back right around, if it's, best case scenario, he comes back for the 49ers game, but you probably just hold him out till playoffs. At this point, we're on 1 seed watch, and I would absolutely love that.
Yeah.
So I did see, quick thing, sorry.
I also have a quick thing.
Is it about the Lions?
No.
Okay, mine's about the Lions. I'll be fast. Some Lions fans, I think I said this last week, they don't know how to control themselves. They're ridiculous. Somebody called I listen to a Detroit radio station I think it's Mondays after game days. And somebody called in and they said, what does Dan Campbell even do? They said, Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn clearly are running this team. Is Dan Campbell just there for emotional support? And that shit pissed me off beyond belief, because that dude brought in this mentality. He brought in these coordinators. It's his staff. And the fact that there's a Lions fan out there that's like, why does he get all the glory? Dude, it's he is the reason we are kicking teams' asses because it's the mentality of we're going to beat your fucking ass. And we go out there and we do it. And we got
we'll find out
saying,
next year when Ben Johnson is the head coach of the Bears.
Part of me, I thought he was gone last year for sure, right? But does he feel hurt by the Bears now? Because everything I see is, he's going to be very selective. I think the Lions should start a new standard. I don't know if anybody's ever done this, but pay those coordinators, pay them head coach salary. If it's just a money thing, pay them the money. But I don't think it's that. I think it's being able to go build your own thing and win it yourself. But who knows? I mean, the Patriots were good for so long. And not the Patriots, sorry. The Chiefs' beginning of their dynasty was because Bieniemy was there, and he stayed because, hey, I got a good thing going here. And he finally left, and he saw, hey, it's not so good on this other side of the bridge. But yeah, it'll be a.
He's in college now.
It'll be a test. I don't know. I know he was with the Commanders, and then he sucked and got fired. He was the OC out there. He did a lateral move.
I'm going to check, but I think he's coaching a college team now.
Next year will be a for sure test. Huh?
I just heard Bieniemy's name last week, so that's why.
What's your baseball thing? Because we just talked about our teams for too long.
Congrats to Stephen Vogt, AL Manager of the Year.
Was that to make me mad?
Well, you were just rooting for Hinch so bad, and you said that Hinch deserved it way more. But
I would.
Bieniemy is the coach of the UCLA Bruins, by the way.
Bieniemy is? There you go. I would argue that Hinch deserved it for the way that we went on that run. However, Vogt beat us, so can't take that away. Continuing on. Vikings 23-13 over the Titans. Don't know why the Vikings can't blow teams out, but Will Levis, pretty bad, but that 98-yard touchdown was pretty awesome. It was a fucking dot. You saw that?
Yeah.
And Sam Darnold, future Titan. You heard it here first. He's going to the Titans next year. He's going to get a big old contract.
I heard that too. That is a perfect fit.
He's going to get I think they said it on PMT. But he's going to get a Ryan Tannehill type contract for a couple of years, and he's going to go back to being a pumpkin. But he's officially, I'm taking him off pumpkin watch for now because he was 20 for 32 with 246 and 2 touchdowns, no picks. And if the Titans defense is decent. Like, they've looked good in some games where they shouldn't have. So we're taking him off pumpkin watch for now. But Vikings schedule, actually, I wanted to pull up. Let's see. Who do they got coming? When is he back on pumpkin watch? They got the Bears this week. Against the Cardinals. I'm putting him on pumpkin watch for the Cardinals game. And the Bears, low-key. The Bears got some corners. Yeah. The Bears got some corners that are dogs. Mm-hmm. Dolphins beat the Raiders 34-19 to a revenge game because Antonio Pierce said he should retire. He went out there and he's slaying his dick around there. Brock Bowers, though, amazing. Wish I could have got him in fantasy. Achane, very good. What did he have receiving? Because it looks like rushing, he didn't do much.
I think he had 7 catches.
4 catches for 32 yards.
Oh.
He did score, though. Can't take away a touchdown. Yeah, I'm surprised Mostert isn't taking more from him like he did last year. Oh, he got hurt in this game. That's why. But it is very clear that
been done with Mostert.
Huh?
They've kind of been done with Mostert for the last couple of weeks.
He scored 2 weeks in a row there, but he got hurt this week. So, yeah, I'm pissed because I had him and I was expecting him to just be a touchdown merchant. But Rams over the Patriots 28-22. Stafford looks amazing. Drake May, though, very good. He's fun to watch. If he gets a receiver, like, dude, his receivers are just nobodies. He's got a running back, too, in Stevenson. The Patriots, like, all they need is an offensive line and a wide receiver. Their O-line's garbage. They need an offensive line and a receiver because Stevenson's a very good running back. But their defense is
They should go get Travis Hunter.
Yeah, put him on offense and defense. Just have him play a bunch of snaps.
No, I actually think the Patriots might line up perfectly to get that Arizona wide receiver next year. And that could be
I think
huge for them.
They've never taken in my remembering. I don't think they've ever taken a receiver early. They haven't in my lifetime haven't had very many early picks. But
and Bill Belichick just used to draft all the white guys late and turn them into something.
Exactly. Yep. And they got turned into something because they ran crossers for Tom Brady, who doesn't miss on a crosser. So, speaking of Taysom Hill 2.0, wow. Saints win 35-14 in the Jameis rematch or revenge game. Taysom Hill, holy shit. 138 yards. One of the wildest stat lines you'll ever see. I don't have his snaps played, but he played like 12 snaps on special teams, a bunch of offensive plays. He also went 7 carries for 138 yards and 3 touchdowns. He was 1 for 2 passing with 18 yards and a pick. He also fumbled on a reception. He only had 1 lost fumble.
Well, he fumbled twice, but one of them was lost. The other was recovered.
8 for 50 receiving. Just what the fuck? He had 40 points in fantasy. Taysom Hill.
I also want to point out last week he had an 88-yard touchdown called back on a penalty.
Maybe it's time to start Taysom Hill. What's funny, too, is that he's one of the most athletic dudes, but he cannot throw a football. If he could throw a football, that dude would be starting on the Tennessee Titans without a doubt.
Shout out to the Packers for not keeping him.
I never knew he was a Packer. That's fun.
Pretty sure we drafted him, and he never played snap for him, or he never played a snap for them.
Next game here, Colts over the Jets, 28-27. Aaron Rodgers now the first player in NFL history to be player, coach, and GM because the Jets fired their GM today. This is the GM that drafted Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner, their D lineman that's very good. Huh?
Yeah, what's his fucking name? Q.
I don't know. No, not Quinnen Williams. He was there long before. They got another one. Or maybe it is him. Braylon Allen, who's been pretty damn good. And then there was one more. Was it Jamal Adams? No, he wasn't there for that. Maybe he made the Jamal Adams trade because they cleaned up on that, by the way. I saw that today. They got 2 firsts and a third for Jamal Adams and a 4th, and Jamal Adams played 1 year with the Seahawks. So this guy gets fired because Aaron Rodgers doesn't like him, I guess, even though he did everything he wanted. It makes no fucking sense to me, dude. Aaron Rodgers in 2 seasons has absolutely destroyed the Jets. Now, granted, this GM also drafted Zach Wilson and Mekhi Becton, who's a very bad offensive lineman. But you got to look at the things he's done. Like the draft, if you hit, say, 2 out of your 7 picks that you have, maybe you have more, whatever. This dude's hit. He's got Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson won Rookie of the Year in the same year. And then you went and got Rodgers thinking it'll fix everything, and then he has come in and just torched everything you built. The Jets are set back 5 years at this point. It's crazy.
Shout out Jets. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Like you said last week, and we'll probably say it every week from here on out, Aaron Rodgers should have just retired walking out of that tunnel with Randall Cobb. It would have been the perfect storybook ending. Instead, Randall Cobb went back to the Jets, played another year he didn't need to. Maybe the money was good for him. Who knows? Aaron Rodgers, he's not destroying his legacy. He's still a Hall of Famer. But he's just not Aaron Rodgers anymore out there. He's slow. He can't run. He's got no mobility. He's missing throws. Devontae Adams thought, get me out of Las Vegas. This will be great. He's literally in a Las Vegas situation. He's got a quarterback that misses him all the time. He forces it in there to him. And Adams has lost a step too. It's just a shitty situation. Shout out to the Colts, though. Anthony Richardson, very good game. 20 for 30, 272, and a touchdown.
Finally.
I will say, finally. I honestly, the benching, maybe that's what he needed. Lit a fire under his ass, maybe. But I did hear that Jonathan Taylor was better when Anthony Richardson plays because it opens up the run game. Well, he averaged 2.5 yards a carry, so not very good. And I just traded for the guy, so I'm kind of pissed. And now I got to start him this week against the Lions, who have the number 3 rush defense in the league. Not very good. Where are we at here? Steelers over the Ravens. We kind of hit this one already. The Steelers defense is so fucking good. 6 field goals, though. No offensive touchdowns. Derrick Henry fumbled for the first time in, 3 years? And then Lamar, not very good. 16 for 33, 207 and a pick and a touchdown. Lots of drops for the Ravens. We were talking about it earlier. Zay Flowers had a bad one. They ended up scoring on that drive, though. It doesn't matter much. Justin Tucker, though, washed as washed gets. Where's the stats? 1 for 3 on field goals, so they would have won. What did he miss though? I don't know the yardages that he missed. There was one short one, right? It was like a 41 yarder that he missed.
Yeah, I'm loading into the play-by-play right now. While I look for this, do we need to actually talk about? I mean, this is probably not a great week to talk about it, but Derrick Henry,
47 and a 50. Okay, so they were a little long.
Back-to-back drives. Do we need to talk about Dennis's take on Derrick Henry?
Not yet, because he had a bad week.
Okay.
But it is close. The touchdowns is the scary part. The yards, I don't think he gets there.
No, because it was 2,200 yards and
2,220 tuds.
I don't think it was 20 touchdowns.
I think
something
it was 20.
like that, though.
We could look back. I mean, he's got 13 touchdowns. He did score again. He scored every week except for one. Fun fact, too, the week he didn't score, I had him in a touchdown parlay. He wasn't the only one that
CMC
missed.
last year.
It wasn't the only one that missed, but still wild. But I think the Ravens are fine. The Ravens and Steelers always play close. We should have read that. What was the spread on this game? It was close, right?
Yeah, Steelers -3, yeah. Or not Steelers.
Steelers +3. Should have read that one, but those games are always close. The Steelers defense is so good.
Do you want me to ask this question now or after the Bills-Chiefs game?
Ask it now.
Who's your MVP currently?
Josh Allen.
Okay. All right. Let's just move on.
Who's your MVP?
Lamar.
It's
not even close.
I can't after that performance.
Lamar has like
Josh
400
Allen.
more yards, like 7 more touchdowns, a bunch less. I think it's 2 less picks. Like it's literally the same thing as Travis Hunter versus Ashton Genty.
No, there's more that goes into this. I take into account. Hang on, I gotta figure out how to pull up. I'm trying to pull up stats here. Hang on. There he is. I want to look at completion percentage. Fuck, I can't pull it up. All right, so yards. So he's got 300 more yards. Oh, but wait a second. Oh, wait, this might help I might help your argument here, Austin. Hang on. How do I look at? God damn it, I'm choking. I was gonna say, have the Ravens had a bye yet?
No.
11? They've both played 11. Okay, so Josh Allen's having his first bye. I thought I was going to help your argument by saying, oh, Josh Allen's just getting to his bye. That's not good. But they got the same amount of games played.
More touchdowns, more yards, less interceptions.
I just watched Josh Allen. I guess I just watched Josh Allen, and I'm like, he's more dominant. But I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
But what about this argument? Hang on. What about this argument? Hang on. I'm almost there. Hang on. I can't make this argument.
You got to hurry up because now we're going long.
I don't think I can make this argument. No, never mind. I take it back. I was going to throw Jared Goff in there, but because of last week, I can't.
No,
I can't.
Get the fuck out of here.
I think he needs to go absolutely dummy. I think that Texans game set him back so bad. But, yeah, Josh Allen and Lamar, it'll be interesting to watch that the rest of the year. Do they play at all? The one thing I am happy about, I will say, the one thing I'm very happy about is that Mahomes is steadily falling out of it.
Yeah.
They don't play this year, I guess. It would be in the postseason. All right, let's fly here because I just absolutely slowed that down like crazy, and we got to get to Chiefs and Bills. Broncos over the Falcons 38-6. Bo Nix is my rookie of the year. I will say that. I want him to win it over Jayden Daniels. He's been steadily inclining. Jayden Daniels started hot and is now going down. Yeah, Bo Nix is just out there dealing. 307, 4 touchdowns. He's doing it against decent teams. He looked okay. What do we do? What's his stats against the Chiefs? 22 for 30, 215, and 2 touchdowns. Very good game. Didn't turn the ball over. Did he fumble, though? Am I talking on my ass now? He did fumble. He recovered it, though. Cool. Bo Nix. Broncos fun. Defense is very good. The next game, we have to get into a thing, and we got to be quick with it, though. Seahawks over the Niners, 20-17. Everybody on this podcast knows that, wow, we are going really long. Holy shit, I'm sorry. I'm a Brock Purdy hater, right? Is Brock Purdy a top 15 quarterback in the NFL, in your opinion?
It depends on which way you look at it.
The way that we did this at bowling last night, the way that I looked at it is, let's say Jordan Love and Jared Goff do not exist, right? And we are picking a quarterback to run our team. Would you put Brock Purdy in the top 15 of those guys to run your team? Literally just overall. So I made a list. I'll find it. Here are the quarterbacks. Here are the quarterbacks that I listed as better than Brock Purdy. Tell me what you think, okay? Ready?
Yep.
Lamar Jackson, Jordan Love, Joe Burrow, Jared Goff, Sam Darnold. I'm talking right now, not overall of their careers. Matthew Stafford, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels, CJ Stroud, Mahomes, Herbert, Tua, Josh Allen, and Russell Wilson.
There's definitely some
That's
question
16.
marks on there.
That's 16. The other one that they wouldn't let me put on my list, they said, I don't know. I said Bo Nix. So now you're talking 17. I understand Russell Wilson being a maybe, so you take him out. That's 16. Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels were, they're rookies. But I'm saying right now I'd want those two over Brock Purdy. Because, look, the Lions, looking at my team, right? You've got Amon-Ra, but after that, you don't have that's a bad example. Look at the Packers.
I would debate Tua.
Look at the Packers. Ooh, right now, though, he looks great. I guess for the risk of him
his
getting
weapons
concussed.
look great.
That's true. Look at the Packers are a great example of this because at receiver, they don't have a weapon. You know what I'm saying? So you put Brock Purdy in that system, I think he's going to suck ass. I think you guys are good because Jordan Love is a pretty damn good quarterback. Because Christian Watson, he's not that special. He's a good receiver, but he's not Brandon Ayuk, Debo, George Kittle, McCaffrey. These people were calling me crazy. He's not top 15. And look at this game. He was horrible because he was missing George Kittle. Ayuk is done for the year, and Debo hasn't been himself. 21 for 28 for 159 and a pick. He has not been good, and I love it because I was right.
I think 15 might be a stretch, but it's close.
That's what we ended up
12. I'd say probably no.
We argued for probably close to an hour, and I said, guys, I'm over it, but let's agree that he is very fringe 15, so he is mid, but I think he's lower. Anything else on this game? Gino,
JSN's
awesome game,
fucking awesome.
JSN also very good. This game too, I don't know if it's because I wasn't really paying attention, but it kind of snuck up on me that the Seahawks were still in it. Then all of a sudden Geno scores, and I'm like, holy shit, they just won. It was
Glad I took him for picks.
It felt like the 49ers had controlled it. They had the ball every time I looked, and they're running. But hey, good win by the Seahawks. And I think your take was wrong though. I think I heard that Kyle Shanahan hasn't lost to the Seahawks. Was that true?
Yeah.
So hey, great fucking pick. Bills and Chiefs, awesome game. Josh Allen, absolutely studly. I hope the Chiefs fall off is coming here because they didn't look good. Patrick Mahomes, not good. 23 for 33, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Both those picks were horrible.
Travis Kelce's washed.
Travis Kelce washed again. Oh, Xavier Worthy, my hating in the preseason was correct. He's not very good. He's just fast. The only way he can get yards is on a crosser over the middle if you throw the ball 5 yards before he's out of bounds. Because if you put him anywhere close to that end line, he's going out of bounds. We saw it 2 weeks ago when he went out of bounds.
Walmart
and then this
Tyreek
week,
Hill.
Yes. Nah, not even Walmart. He's fucking Salvation Army Tyreek Hill.
Oh.
Aldi's
I don't know if I go that far.
Yeah, he's still 4 for 61, but he had the jet sweep that went for 15.
Well, this was his revenge game.
The crosser. The Xavier Worthy revenge game? Why is that?
Yeah, the Bills traded that pick to the Chiefs, and the Chiefs took Worthy.
Well, so we were talking about that today. Everybody said, oh, why'd the Bills let the Chiefs get Worthy? Well, they got Keon Coleman, who didn't play in this game, but I would rather have over Worthy. You agree with that?
Just based off of what they've done, yeah, I'd have Coleman.
Yeah, so far. Yep. So, yeah, that was an awesome game, but not good in terms of the Bills always beating the Chiefs in the regular season and then losing to them in the postseason. So, something to watch there. And then Sunday night, this game was electric. Chargers 34, Bengals 27. The Chargers were up 24-6 at halftime. Bengals clawed all the way back and tied it up. And then the fourth quarter was back and forth, punt, pick. It was crazy. And then the Chargers ended up icing it on a 29-yard touchdown with 18 seconds left. J.K. Dobbins, almost big mistake not going down there because Joe Burrow got the ball to the 45, and they had 2 shots at the end zone. I feel so bad for Joe Burrow, Higgins, Chase Brown even had a great game. Like, that offense is good. They score.
Is Chase just going to be done with the Bengals after this year?
I don't know. I feel like he loves Burrow. Like, I think they're tight. Yeah. But I think he also wants to win, and they're not signing him. They're not giving him money. I think he's looking at what's happening where they don't have money on defense. Their defense played like shit in the first half. Second half, they came out crazy good. But
what if Jamar's like, I'm out of here, and Burrow's like, me too, I want to trade?
I don't think the Bengals would. I think they would tell him you can't. They definitely have some sort of clause, probably. I don't know, though. What do you do if a guy – I don't think Joe Burrow's the kind of guy that's just going to sit out, though, unless you trade me. I don't think he's got it in
I don't think so either.
But I think Chase could very well be gone. Let's both pick the team that would be – take our teams out of it. Pick the team that Chase would be the most fun on that probably would get him. I'll say sorry, kind of put us on the spot there.
Okay, I have an idea.
I'll say ooh. All right, you go first.
On the count of 3.
Okay. 3,
1,
2, 1. Commanders.
Broncos.
Ooh, yours is better. Yours is better. Oh, shit. Bo Nix and Jamar Chase, dude. Ooh.
The Broncos have money, too.
I feel like the Commanders probably have money. And Jaden Daniels and Jamar Chase.
I think so. They should.
Yeah. I almost said Bills. Because, dude, look at that. Josh Allen and Jamar Chase.
Amari Cooper, Keon Coleman.
Khalil Shakir.
Dalton Kincaid.
Oh, my God. Bills is fun, too. Bills is more unlikely than the Broncos, though, I feel like.
Cowboys.
Broncos, need a wide receiver. Cowboys won't. You won't go to the Cowboys. I think he hates the Cowboys. Where's he from? Is he from Louisiana? Saints?
I don't think so.
Where is he from? Doesn't it tell you if you click his name?
I'll look. You do Texans Cowboys.
Texans Cowboys. Nothing needs to be said here. Texans blew them out. It was closer in the first half than it should have been. But, yeah, the Cowboys are a goddamn dumpster fire. Why doesn't his ESPN bio say where he's from? Oh, look at that. Harvey, Louisiana. Suck me.
Oh, he is. Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing else to say about that game. The Cowboys are a dumpster fire. The offense looked okay in the first half. I mean,
yep.
Cooper Rush threw a bad pick, and like you said, probably should have a couple more, but they moved the ball. They scored. Second half, they didn't.
CJ Stroud just hasn't been that impressive recently.
No, it's people have tape on him, and he gets shut down. Let's do our picks because, once again, we just got to yapping. All right, quickly. I can't pull up the thing. Where the hell is it?
Last week, Jake went 11-3. He is now 101-65. Paige went 9-5.
Sure.
She is 96-70. I'm in the lead. I went 9-5 as well. I am 112-54. Couple weeks
you
here
should be quick.
To hold out this lead.
We got a lot of agreements. It's 7:00, bro. I wanted to play games. Steelers at the Browns. You two are taking the Steelers. I'm taking the Browns. It's my long shot. Let's get weird. I think this is probably a bad decision. I probably should just take the Steelers. They're a good team. Sunday, Vikings at the Bears. We're all on the Vikings. Lions at the Colts. We're all on the Lions. Patriots at the Dolphins. We're all on the Dolphins. Bucks at the Giants. We're all on the Bucks. Cowboys at the Commanders. We all have the Commanders. Chiefs at the Panthers. I have to slow down here, and I need an explanation why. Paige and I are taking the Chiefs, obviously. What is going on here?
Roar. I'm taking the Panthers for two reasons. One, because of the meme culture that has been taking the Panthers over the Chiefs for the last 2 weeks. Panthers coming off a bye. Jonathan Brooks is back. Probably doesn't matter. Bryce Young has played well, and I hate the Chiefs, and I have enough space to make crazy picks, so I'm taking the Panthers.
There you go. Titans at the Texans. We're all on the Texans. Broncos at the Raiders. We've all got the Broncos. 49ers at the Packers. We all have the Packers. Not so sure about that one.
I don't like that.
Cardinals at the Seahawks. You're riding with your Cardinals, huh, Frankie?
No.
Caw-caw.
I'm taking the Seahawks.
That's what I meant. Sorry, I'm losing it. We're an hour 20 in here.
JSN and Marv. I just hope for a shootout for fantasy.
Paige and I both taking the Cardinals. And then Eagles at the Rams. You and I made the right pick and took the Eagles. Paige took the Rams, of course. And then Monday night, good game. Ravens at the Chargers. This should be fun. Paige and I have the Chargers, and you are on the Ravens. Bounce back game for you?
Yep.
Gotcha. Well, that's everything.
Two quick things before we go. Shout out Pat Murphy, NL Manager of the Year. Shout out Wisconsin Badgers men's basketball. We beat two very good teams this week. Arizona killed them, and then we snuck by another team from Texas. So
another team from Texas being University of Texas Rio Grande Verde, 21-point favorites, only won by
Rio
3,
Grande
and we're trailing.
Valley, I think.
What did I say? Verde?
Points. That's respectable. Yeah.
Did I say Verde? Yeah. See, I'm thinking about salsa, bro. I'm hungry. It's 7:00. I haven't had dinner. Have a great weekend. Let's hit some tanks, door some tutties. Go Lions. We'll see you next week.
Peace.